At this point, I've done. It's got to be close to over 1,000 shows. I've interviewed hundreds of people on some of the most edgy topics that you can imagine over the past, I don't know how many years I've been doing this. And no interview to date has me feeling as apprehensive as this one. Not because of the person involved. I've interviewed him before. We had a great conversation that you can find on this channel in the past a couple years ago. But because of the situation that he's in and how obviously this interview is I want to be careful with this interview. I want to we need to learn about the situation, ask our questions, and, you know, obviously not have expectations of the things that he is going to be able to talk about that are unreasonable. So I started the stream, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes before he's scheduled to call me. So he has not called me yet. I don't know if he'll even be able to call me on time, but we'll see. I just wanted to have the stream running so that when it happened, we were ready. If it was early or late or whatever, we don't know. It's obviously a prison. I'm sure very few people are actually in control of when this is going to happen. So, welcome. Pull up a chair. We're going to be here a while. A couple things. As soon as we begin the interview, as soon as he calls me and we connect, I'm going to shut down all of the censorious platforms. If you're watching on YouTube, that's you. If you're watching on Twitch, that's you. If you're watching on Facebook, that's you. I'm going to leave the stream up on DLive. I'm going to leave the stream up on Odysee. I'm going to leave the stream up on Float. So I see, hey Ancap, I see you on the Odysee side saying that you're having some buffering on Odysee. I'm sorry that their infrastructure is out of my control. Try DLive or try Float if you're having trouble on Odysee. The link in the description is for Odysee. If you need links to the DLive or to the Float, I think you can find that at disenthrall.me/platforms, or maybe somebody can link it in chat. I'm being told Odysee is dead. I'm sorry for that. Let's it's certainly nothing on my side. Let's see if we can get some links in chat for the alternative platforms. So we have a few minutes here. We have like 5-7 minutes before he's scheduled to call me. So I just wanted to get connected, get you guys going, make sure that you're ready to flip over off of YouTube and Facebook and Twitch when the interview starts. And I wanted to have like this pre-talk, right? Like the set of questions that we can ask him privately are different than the set of questions that we can expect him to want to answer publicly, considering he's in the middle of being prosecuted. I should intro the show a little better than that. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Disenthrall. I will be Patrick Smith. Today we have the honor and privilege to talk to a guy named Stewart Rhodes, who is the head of the Oath Keepers, which is I don't know how you would call it, an activist group attempting to, as far as I can tell, influence law enforcement and military to keep the oaths that they took when they joined or when they accepted those jobs. Their oaths to the Constitution to protect people's rights rather than become the tyrants that they actively are. They have over the years showed up to many different events. I'm look at our previous interview if you want to find out more about the past situation. This interview, obviously, the Oath Keepers showed up to the events of January 6th, the so-called supposed insurrection. And I shouldn't laugh. The left and the government in general has, in my opinion, vastly rewritten history and exacerbated what actually went on that day, to the point where they've charged a bunch of people in a couple different groups. What are the far right dudes? The Proud Boys. They charged them, and they charged the members of the Oath Keeper, including Stewart Rhodes, with what is it? Seditious conspiracy. And he is currently in federal prison, and there's a big thing happening in Congress where they're trying to get to the truth, or at least to put on a show to make it look like that's what they're doing. I could have chosen to do this as just a phone call that I recorded and then published it after the fact. But I wanted to do it as a live stream so that you guys could give me your questions. I don't know where this conversation is going to go. I'm not going to ask any questions that might put him in an awkward place or might hurt his chances of getting free. But I'm not sure where this interview is going to go yet. I have some ideas on what I can talk to him about. And first of all, I haven't spoken to him at all. He hasn't told me I'm not allowed to ask him about anything. I'm just trying to use common sense. There are certain questions that if I were in prison, I would not want to be asked or answered publicly for the world. So I want you guys to give me your questions in chat. Please lead your questions with question in all caps, followed by your question so that I can make sure and see it. I hear that Odysee is currently dead. I don't know why. I'm sorry, I can't help that. I think that's likely something on their end. I'm not sure. The DLive link is dlive.tv/notgovernor. We are live over there. Thanks for checking on that, ANCAP. And I can see comments from DLive, so that's good. So we're just going to hang out until he's able to call me. Matt R. Question like this. Absolutely. Yes. That way I don't miss them. It sucks that Odysee's off, man. That sucks. Anyway. So NCAP says DLive is good. Let me paste that link in here for everybody. Again, for those just joining, when he calls me here in a few minutes, we're going to shut down YouTube. We're going to shut down Facebook. We're going to shut down Twitch. I am streaming to DLive, Odysee, and Float. I just put the DLive link in chat for you. I can't imagine what it must be like to have the system that is the United States injustice system just land its full weight on your forehead for political purposes, which is what I fully think this is. I haven't done a video or commented on the January 6th stuff because it's been so obvious. Like, this is so obviously, the entire thing is just so obviously theater. It's so like the left is outraged. And so they call it an insurrection, and it's just, isn't it apparent to everyone that actually saw what happened that day? I'm really surprised that this particular narrative has caught as much traction as it has. Matt asks, will I go to Mountain Air? I don't know what that is. Well, I'm still streaming to Odysee. The Invisible Hand says that you posted the Odysee link all over True Social. I'm still streaming to Odysee, so if they pick up, hopefully they pick up. The difference between Odysee and some of the other platforms is that there's no transcoding usually until the stream gets large enough, and then their transcoding kicks in. So when there's not enough viewers, I'm pretty sure that like whatever bits I'm sending Odysee is the same bits they're sending out. And I'm streaming at 2.5 megabit. So if whatever internet connection you have can't handle 2.5, then that could be why Odysee is giving you trouble. Matt, I don't know what Mountain Air is. Sorry, I don't know what that is. Have I heard of Ray Epps? I have not. Strategic. Again, like I haven't really followed this story. I'm Googling him now. He's got a Wikipedia page. He's an American former professional basketball player. The man conservatives blame for the Capitol riot. Conspiracists have blamed him or something. Yeah, I don't know. I saw the events of the day, and if you look back on this channel, I did a video where I tried to put on my conservative hat and talk like a conservative to conservatives. I think the day after that, or maybe even the evening of. And I thought it was a great video that really kind of spoke the language of the right. At least I was talking to myself. I was talking to who I used to be on the right. And so beyond that, once it turned into this absurd circus, I really just stopped paying attention. I haven't followed the developments because I suspect that any news coming out about the event is going to be heavily slanted and manipulated. It's difficult to know what to trust when things are this politicized and stretched out of proportion. Am I going to Mountain Air, New Mexico? Why would I go to Mountain Air, New Mexico? I don't know. If that's where James Freeman is, yeah, I might go pay him a visit someday. I don't know. I don't have any plans right now. The only place I'm going right now, potentially, and I give it a 50-50 at this point, is Jackalope Freedom Festival in Arizona. I was thinking about doing the next Ancampistan event there. But it's kind of an inconvenient time for my family personally. So, I'm kind of needing, I'm not sure I'll be able to make it yet. And I'm kind of trying to get a feel for like, if a bunch of people are going to go and try and make another big Ancampistan event, then, I'll probably try and make it. But if not, I'll probably sit this one out. That's the only current plan I have. The Corrupt Town with Chief Reyes. I have seen James Freeman's videos on Reyes and his wife apparently colluding. Is that the town? And so you're asking me if I'm going there? I had no plans to, but it might be fun. W.O. Cassidy says Ray Epps is the Fed who is instructing 1-6 protesters, inciting them. He hasn't been questioned or charged. Interesting. Well, let's see. What time is it? Okay, it's about time for him to call. So as soon as he does, we'll get him on here. And again, who knows? Like, this is a federal prison, so who knows if they're running on time. He might not call, guys. So we'll see. But I wanted to bring this to you guys live so that you can get your questions in. Rocking my neck beard. The neck beard is strong today. Very nice. The last time I spoke with Stewart, he came over. Well, no, I guess the last time I interviewed him, he still had faith in the government and the military and the law enforcement. A little bit of faith that that it could be fixed and corrected, and if we could just get the people to keep their oaths to protect people instead of being the enforcement arm for the tyrants, that everything would be better. And that was a couple, 3 years ago when we had that interview. And I think that might be the question that is at the forefront of most of this channel's viewers' minds is that still his position, or is he, or has he realized the truth about the government and its authority and its enforcers. And I want to tell everybody up front that that is the question I will likely not be asking him. That is one of the questions. Because even if he answered it one way or another, we won't be able to know if he's telling the truth because, he's putting his voice out publicly in the middle of a trial. So just forget that question right now. I'm not going to put him on the spot publicly on that one. I'm not going to drill him on it. Later in the future, hopefully when he's rightfully justly freed from their cages, we can certainly have him back on, ask him all sorts of questions. Hopefully you guys, in other news, saw the Anarchist special on HBO and saw the chat I had with Larkin on the Anarchist channel about that. We both watched episode 1. It was pretty interesting, and we had some thoughts, and we did a little intro for people. And we are going to be watching those. They come out every Sunday. And we're going to be watching those and maybe doing follow-up episodes. Have you guys seen those? Or seen the first episode, I should say? We're doing watch parties on our Discord server every Sunday. So if you guys want to watch those. If you do watch them as part of our watch parties, I am requesting that you guys do go ahead and, sign up for HBO and watch it. That way the creators get the credit that they deserve for it from HBO. Because if people watch it, sign up to HBO and watch the special, there's a greater chance that they'll be given the funding and contract to do other work in the future. And we need more liberty-loving people out there creating content that's getting accepted on mainstream platforms. Senator Cruz pointed out that Epps seemed to be inciting the crowd. The crowd chanted "Fed" back at him. Interesting. Do I know where in Arizona the Jackalope Freedom Festival movie? I don't know what you mean by that. You can just Google Jackalope Freedom Festival. If you're looking for the location, you can get that. It's GPS coordinates. ANCAP Gamer is in the chat. He does cop watching, and he was recently at that location. The story kind of went viral where the cops flashbanged a house and set it on fire, killing a teenager, I believe. So ANCAP, you have an open invitation to come on the show and talk about what happened to you or with that situation. Just hit me up. ANCAP was there. I think he was on scene with his camera. He live streamed it. So that was crazy. I want to play some music. I'm very like that's too loud. I'm very contemplative. Like it's not often you talk to people that are in such insanely intense life situations. It's a little difficult to. So like, here's one of the biggest secrets to good interviews. I think I'm pretty good. I think I'm really good at interviewing people. Personally, maybe I don't know. Maybe you guys disagree, but one key skill that I think makes you a good interviewer is being able to empathize with the guest. And as they're telling their story, whatever story it is, really putting yourself in their place, in their shoes, and feeling their place. And then you ask questions based on the curiosities that you get unfolding from you sort of putting yourself in that life for the moment, right? And so prepping for this interview, I tried to do that, but how can you possibly? I think that's part of where some of my trepidation comes from. Is just like, I can't imagine what this is like. I mean, there's been a few guests that I just can't imagine you know, what their life is like, but this is an especially insane one. This is like one of the people that are, their life situation is like, there's only like 10 other people currently or something like that that are experiencing this. It's crazy. My Discord server link, in the description, there's a link for the platforms, disenthrall.me/platforms, and on there is a Discord link. And you can join our Discord server. I'm told he is about to call me, so let's see. There it is.
Call from and follow facility instructions to register this number as a private number.
To accept this free call, press 1. To refuse this free call, thank you for using Securus.
I'm going to talk to him for a second.
Now. This
Muted.
call is being terminated.
And then I'll be right back with you guys.
Calls are allowed.
Or he's going to get disconnected. That sucks. So yeah, when I pick up the call, I'm going to mute audio on the stream so that I can briefly talk to him to make sure that he knows that he's live. Because I haven't talked to him before this, so I need to make sure that, you know, at least we're giving him the situation before we start talking to him. Hopefully he calls me back. We'll see. He just got disconnected. I don't know. I was just told in chat that Google Voice numbers are not accepted by Cirrus. Is Cirrus like the prison phone system? Are we going to have a problem? Be right back. 1 sec.
Call from. Please hang up and follow facility instructions to register this number as a private number.
To accept this free call, press 1. To refuse this free, thank you for using Securus. You may start the conversation now. This call is being terminated. No third-party calls are allowed.
No third-party calls. It's a Google Voice thing. All right, let me give an alternate number here. Let's see how this goes. Sorry, guys. Well, this might be a problem. 1 sec. Okay, we're trying to get word back to him of an alternate number for him to call. Government. Can't do anything right. we can't have like modern voice technology. Oh no, we have to only call with Morse code fax machines and landlines. Yeah, it is. It's something I've thought about, like before doing this interview, like um, giving my phone number and having him call me is probably a guarantee of having um, of being placed on a list. Hmm. If he has to call my mobile, then we'll try speakerphone and see how that works. And if not, we will come up with another solution.
Call from
Hey, this is Patrick. Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
How are you, sir?
I'm doing pretty well for being a political prisoner. How are you?
You sound
as things go.
You sound especially cheerful for your situation.
For being a political prisoner? Yeah, I guess if you were to talk to Solzhenitsyn while he's in the gulag, he'd have sounded a lot worse, I would imagine. He was in worse circumstances.
Do you remember several years ago when we spoke? You came over to the studio and we had had an interview and we talked about a lot of cool stuff. First of all, let me ask you, how long do we have?
You got me for about an hour. I just have to call back on occasion because it cuts off like 14 minutes. So I'll just call back again. Call Michelle back.
Okay, and I appreciate the interconnect. All right, cool. So, wow. I don't even know where to begin, man. I'm so worried for you and sorry for what's being done to you.
Well, you shouldn't be worried. You shouldn't be worried for me. You should be worried for all Americans because I'm just a canary in a coal mine, along with the rest of the J6 political prisoners. And that's what I think is important to drive home, is that this is not going to stop. It's going to keep going. And it's lawfare. It's war through using the law as a weapon against dissidents is what this is. And it's not going to stop.
Can we, so just so you know, we're live streaming. So this is live on the internet. Yep. And I wanted to just kind of back up for the people that aren't aware and that haven't seen our previous interview. Can you sort of introduce yourself and I guess the Oath Keepers?
Right. So, I worked for Congressman Ron Paul in Congress. Before that, I was a paratrooper in the Army. And after working for Congressman Paul, I went to college and then law school. I graduated from Yale Law School in 2004 and clerked for the Arizona Supreme Court. And then after that, worked as an attorney in small town Montana, criminal defense. And then I founded Oath Keepers because I saw where our country was going. I worked on the campaign for Ron Paul in 2008 and then again in 2012. And in 2008, when I realized he was not going to win, he had the nomination stolen from him, we all saw what happened at the conventions, then I realized this country's in serious trouble. So I didn't care whether it was Hillary Clinton or Obama on the Democrat side. We knew there was going to be McCain, who was an oath-breaking traitor on the conservative side, or the Republican side. And so I founded Oath Keepers, which was focused on the current serving and former military, police, and firefighters and first responders. Like I served as a paratrooper and I was a firefighter. And I wanted to make sure that the guys with the guns who would be given the orders to violate your rights, such as during Hurricane Katrina with the big mass gun confiscation door to door, that was a big wake-up call for a lot of us, that, you have people who just don't understand the Constitution, and we wanted to make sure that they had a better understanding of their responsibility to say no. That's why I started Oath Keepers. And then along the way, we also did like 12 hurricane relief missions, actually 14 hurricane relief missions. And then we also started standing up and protecting free speech of anybody who was being threatened by street thugs. You had Antifa running all over the streets after Trump was elected, especially, just going crazy and trying to crush free speech through violence. And so we defended many, many events all across the country. And that leads up to what we were doing in D.C. on January 6th was a security operation, the same thing we've been doing for years, to protect free speech against leftist assault in the streets.
Okay, before we go any farther, I'm going to let everybody know watching on YouTube, watching on Facebook, and watching on Twitch that we're shutting you down. We're getting off those platforms because they don't want us there, especially with this guest. Please make sure you're watching on DLive, Odysee, or Float. So goodbye,
and they might shut you down for you after this.
Yeah, that's why we're going to go ahead and kill it. Yep.